Hey everyone, today we are pulling back the curtain on the AI assistants we use every single day. You know, the ones that book our flights, order our food, or tell us if we need a jacket. We're going to see exactly how they're built from the inside out. So, let's dive right in.
But first, I have a question for you. Have you ever wondered when you ask your phone for the weather, how does it know the answer for right now? It's definitely not magic, and it's not some giant pre-written script with every possible temperature. The answer to this question is actually the key to understanding everything we're about to cover.
So, first up, let's talk about moving beyond those basic chatbots. We're talking about the massive leap from those old, frustrating, keyword-based bots to the truly intelligent assistants that are starting to pop up everywhere. So, what is it we're actually building here? It's called a task-oriented chatbot. And, the name really says it all. This is a bot that has a specific job to do. It's designed from the ground up to help you, the user, accomplish a single goal, whether that's finding a piece of information or getting something done. This slide really breaks down the difference. On the left, you've got the old-school, rule-based bots. They follow a super strict script, and the moment you go off that script, they just break. But on the right, you have modern AI-based bots. They use machine learning to figure out what you mean, not just the exact words you type. That makes them way more flexible and, honestly, a lot more useful. But here's the secret sauce. The real game changer is something called API integration. This is what lets the chatbot connect to live, real-world data. Without this, a bot is just a clever conversation partner. But with it, it becomes an incredibly powerful tool. Okay, section 2, designing the conversation. This is where we get into the fun stuff. It's like we're creating the actual blueprint for the chatbot's brain, mapping out exactly how it's going to think and how it's going to respond. And it really boils down to 3 core steps. First, we have to identify the user's intents. Basically, what are they trying to do? Next, we define the entities. What are the crucial bits of information we need to snatch from their message? And finally, we create dialogue stories, which map out all the possible ways a conversation could go. And this is a perfect example of what an entity is. So if a user asks, what is the weather in Paris? The intent is pretty clear, right? They want to get the weather. But the most vital piece of information the bot needs to pull out of that sentence is Paris. That's our entity. It's the specific detail the bot needs to actually do its job. Which brings us to, honestly, the most exciting part. Section 3, connecting to the world. This is that magic moment where we take our carefully designed chatbot and give it a real superpower, the ability to tap into the endless resources of the live internet. And we do this using something called a custom action. Think of it as a special piece of code, usually written in Python, that the chatbot can call on when it needs to. And its number one job? Reaching out to get data from an external API. So how does this actually work under the hood? Well, the code for these actions lives in its own special file. Inside that file, you have functions that use pretty standard programming libraries to send a request to a service, like a weather provider. And critically, this is where the bot securely manages the API keys it needs to get permission to access that data. And after all that back-end work, all that code, this is the beautiful, simple result. The chatbot gets the live data back from the API and gives a dynamic, genuinely useful response to the user. This isn't some pre-programmed answer. It's a piece of real-time information delivered at the exact moment it was needed. Now, building the bot is one thing, but making it reliable is a whole other challenge. That brings us to section 4, testing and refining. This phase is all about making sure the chatbot is robust and ready for real people to use it. And here is a huge practical tip. A chatbot like this is often 2 separate programs running at the same time. You have the main server handling the conversation logic, and then you have the action server that's executing all these tasks. For anything to work, they both have to be running at the same time and talking to each other. And when that API connection inevitably fails, and trust me, it will fail at some point, this checklist is your absolute best friend. Did you copy the API key right? Is the URL for the service exactly correct with no typos? Did you forget to actually start the action server? I'm telling you, 90% of the time the problem is something on this list. But what about when the user does something you didn't expect? You can't have the bot just crash. That's where fallback policies come in. They're basically the chatbot's safety net. These are pre-planned responses for when the bot gets confused, letting it gracefully say, "Sorry, I didn't quite get that," instead of just completely breaking down. And that brings us to our final section, common hurdles and launch. This is all about navigating those last few challenges and finally getting your chatbot out into the real world.
This chart basically shows the big three. The most common roadblocks that developers run into are fighting with API authentication, getting the bot to correctly identify those entities we talked about, and, of course, sorting out those pesky server connection issues. If you hit these walls, just know it is a totally normal part of the process. So what does that path to launch actually look like? Well, you always start on a local server, right on your own machine, for all the building and testing. When it's ready for prime time, you move it to a cloud server on a platform like AWS or Google Cloud so it can handle real traffic from lots of users. And at every single step, security is absolutely non-negotiable. Protecting API keys and user data is always job number one. So, there you have it. That's the blueprint, from designing a conversation with intents and entities to giving it a superpower with custom actions and APIs, all the way through testing and finally deploying it. You now know how a smart AI assistant is built from the ground up. The only question left is, what problem are you going to solve first?